All right, week one. Exciting to get back out there. Out there would be nice if it was outside, but um, it's not this week at least. Hopefully, we can get out there soon. The goalkeeper session for week one is really interesting. I'm super excited for your feedback. So, as we get to the virtual session next week, I will post those today for you guys. As we get to those next week, I'd really like to hear your feedback on this session and if it's a session we want to incorporate more throughout a season. Or if we want to look at other options for goalkeeper training, we can certainly look at that. So, puts the onus a little bit on you. I understand that not all of us are goalkeepers. Okay, we do have some goalkeepers on staff. So if you have some questions, I have some goalkeeper licenses. I've coached some goalkeepers in the past. I can certainly answer those as well. So if you're curious about anything, just let me know. I can get you some information on that. We're going to start off with the play phase as we usually do. Now, this play phase can be a little bit different. I'm open to you guys exploring what this looks like as a handball activity instead of using our feet. If we're going to do goalkeepers, that's fine. And in the end, you might want to roll it out or roll it into the goal, sorry, rather than throw it. Okay, but you could introduce throwing if you want to. That's fine. As we get to the end of the session, we use big goals. We could do this. Now, this is meant to be done in Metro Rec. Okay. A good way to set up play, practice, play phases in the Metro is using the width and then setting the goals on the white dash lines that kind of go around. You wouldn't use close to the goal because of the curved on each end, but you could usually get 3 fields on each Metro field if you're going if you're using the end lines as the wide, going the width of the field. All right, so getting into the topic for today. So goalkeeping. This is the same warm-up activity or introduction activity for both sessions for the week. This will help get them moving a little bit quicker because you don't have to do a whole lot of explaining on day 2, except for explaining the difference in the activity. For goalkeepers, you could have either both of these players or just one of the players using their hands. You might start with both players ball in hand, and we're going to roll it to each other to practice bowling through the gates. Okay, really get low, take a step towards the target, really get the hand low so there's no bouncing. Metro Rec is a good feedback surface for that because it's really hard. It's like concrete, so with fake grass on top of it, really short fake grass. So it's going to give them the feedback that they might desire from rolling the ball. I think that's beneficial. Okay. So we're going to roll it to each other. Okay, but the same coaching points as far as the passing and receiving go with that if you have one player using their feet. So then you might start with both players using their hands and then go to one player using their feet so that the goalkeeper can practice getting in a set position, what that looks like. So this player might be the goalkeeper. This player might be passing to the goalkeeper. Set position would be weight on their toes more, heels up maybe off the ground, just a tad, where you're leaning forward, palms at your side, feet about shoulder width apart, knees bent so that we could either jump or we could dive or we could move side to side. If the ball goes to the side of the player, I would recommend not diving, especially at the Metro. There's no reason to really do diving today. See if we can instead get in front of the ball again. So can we slide over, right? Shuffle over, get in front of the ball and scoop with our hands below the ball, underneath the ball, pinkies together. Okay. Otherwise, the activity is the same from the other one. Okay. Rolling technique, get low, no bounce like bowling. Pick up low balls, feet on the ground, bend over, body behind the ball. If needed, and you kneel with 1 foot forward towards ball as bending down with hands under, but our knees generally shouldn't be on the ground. It's a bad habit for goalkeepers to get used to knees on the ground. I see a lot of goalkeepers going to knees before they need to, and then it causes issues. All right. All right. Fort game for goalkeepers. What we're looking at is identifying some forts, having them build a little fort, or you can build a little fort for them to do this. We have partners with one ball, and their goal is to pass through 2 sides of the triangle. You can use squares too. Okay. A problem as I'm building this session that I see is that this player is too close to the goalkeeper, and they're not able to do much with that. Building bigger forts might help us in that aspect, right? They have to really get really get big or further away from the goalkeeper can really guard a little bit more using some space. Okay. But again, shuffling to try to get their body in front of it, scooping. I would, if possible, have them keep the ball on the ground. That's going to benefit us for today. We don't need to get into some super shot stopping. We're just practicing mostly distribution, mostly our set position. So as the player goes to pass the ball, as they bring their foot back, can we get in that set position that we already talked about? That's going to be important. Okay. And then the same activity as on the bubble session. Okay. 3v3 plus 1. You could make this a neutral if you want. I'm starting to lean towards that. I think that might be beneficial. The problem with it is that neutrals are difficult to learn, but we are creating training habits at 9-10, so it might be beneficial to start with that. Might be tough, but it might be beneficial as we move forward. Another thing, since we're doing goalkeepers, is we could, if we have availability of larger, let's say like I don't like 4x4 nets or something, you could introduce a goalkeeper. I just don't think we have that. So one will be using the Metro Rec goal, okay, and then we're going to go to counter goals. Again, I would encourage you to, if you go with a handball method for, let's say, 10 minutes, have them rolling into these and throwing into this goal. If you want to play with feet, that's fine, and then alternate out goalkeepers quite a bit. I'm open to what that looks like. I'm open to you guys trying different methods on that, and then again giving feedback on our virtual session next week. From there, you can open it up to play. Now, with the Metro Rec, I would recommend using the white dash lines as out of bounds. Okay, using the boards is a negative feedback for us. It doesn't provide us much quality feedback. What it says is we can kick the ball out of bounds and have the ball come back to us, right? As we get ready for the outdoor season, we don't want the ball to go out of bounds unless we're doing that on purpose, which is we shouldn't really be doing at this age. So what I would recommend is to use an out of bounds line and then just do kick-ins. There's no reason for throw-ins because the ball gets above the head, and when you're throwing it in at the Metro Rec, it's just going to be bouncing. It's not a ball that we want to really be controlling because it's not realistic. Okay, so kick-ins are just fine at the Metro Rec. All right. And again, we still want to look at some of the cues of building out of the back. Okay. And again, goalkeeper is a good time to introduce at building out of the back because we're going to be distributing a lot as we build out of the back. Okay. With our feet and with our hands. And we need to touch on bowling and what that looks like as far as not bouncing and not throwing the ball. Right. I saw at our own tournament at the Rustad Center when we're playing, a lot of goalkeepers will throw it out there and the ball's bouncing and that creates issues. Right. So any questions on the goalkeeper, let me know. Enjoy feedback next week as I talk to you guys on our virtual session. Again, I'll post that today, probably this evening. Yeah, so enjoy the week. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good one, U9, U10 coaches.